Hi everybody, I hope you and yours are doing great. This week's Torah portion, the Torah reading is Parshat Bechukotai, which is the last of the Torah readings of Chumash Vayikra, the book of Leviticus. And the custom is at the end of the Torah reading, whenever we finish one of the 5 books, the congregation stands up and says, Chazak, Chazak, v'nis chazek, which means be strong, may we be strengthened so that we complete and finish more books of the Torah. The question is, we say this 5 times a year for the 5 books, Bereshit, Shmos, Vayikra, Bamidbar, Dvarim, Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, and we say it 5 times a year, and every year. Why do we say it every year? And my 5-year-olds sing a song, Chazak, Chazak, v'nis chazek, my mother baked a chocolate cake. It's such a common phrase that we say, and we say it again and again and again. And the answer really is, do we appreciate and understand the importance of Torah study? And that Torah is our lifeline. There's a joke told about this not learned man who saw the rabbi of his synagogue studying. And he said, "Hey, Rabbi, I thought you passed the test already. You're still studying? Oh, that's not good." Torah study is not just to pass the test. It's to live life and to enrich our lives with spirituality. And the Torah really teaches us this in this week's Torah portion. The opening verse says the following, Im b'chukotai telechu, if you will follow my decrees and observe the commandments and perform them. Now, there's nothing redundant in the Torah. The Torah doesn't have words that are repeated just to repeat. You know, they say that Charles Dickens wrote A Tale of Two Cities, and why was it so long? They say supposedly that he got paid by the word. The Torah, we get paid by the word for studying it, but God doesn't write it poetically. There's a reason for it. If you say, if you follow my decrees and observe the commandments and perform them, that sounds like it's redundant and superfluous. If you perform my commandments, if you observe the commandments and perform them, that would be sufficient. Says Rashi, the premier commentary, if you follow my decrees doesn't mean doing the commandments, because that the rest of the verse says. It means toiling in Torah, diligently learning and studying Torah, the breadth and depth, and developing greater understanding in the power and the beauty of the Torah and the meaning of the Torah on all levels. And that's what it's about. That's what Torah study is all about. It's our lifeline. It's not just about knowledge or history. It's about reinforcing, recharging our spiritual batteries, preferably on a daily basis. And I'd like to share 2 short vignettes with you. One about a great rabbi who had to do surgery without anesthesia. And they were very, very worried about him. They wanted to know, should we hold you down? He says, no, I'm just going to study. And he was so focused on his study that he was oblivious to the pain of the procedure that took place. And the second vignette is about a great rabbi who made a siyum. He finished all the tractates of the Talmud. That's close to 3,000 pages. And he made a celebration upon completing the studying of the Babylonian Talmud. Several weeks later, he made another siyum for finishing the Babylonian Talmud. And they said, hey, well, how did that happen? That was just a few weeks ago. Like I said, it's close to 3,000 pages and complicated and difficult pages. And he said the following, the first siyum I made, the first completion that I celebrated, that was for my regular learning Seder, my regular learning program that I have for myself, that every day I would learn X amount over X amount of time. The second one was stolen minutes. I'm waiting online, I'm waiting for the bus, I'm waiting at a celebration. So I had my book to study, and the second one is when I finished learning the entire Talmud over the course of stolen minutes that I grabbed, which today people would be on their phones or checking their emails. He was studying more Torah. So when the Torah teaches us that if you follow my decrees and observe the commandments and perform them, we'll get great reward. Part of that great reward comes from toiling in Torah, focusing and spending time and making the time in our busy schedules to make sure we're connected to the study of Torah. That's what's so important for us to be able to do, and that we can say when we finish Parshat Bechukotai and tell ourselves, Chazak, Chazak, v'nis chazek. May we be strong and be strengthened to continue learning, continue seeing the primacy of Torah in our lives, and continue studying and growing and become the best that we can be. Have a wonderful and great Shabbos. And sure enough, Shavuos is coming up soon. Our special holiday, we're going to have an all-night learning program at JLE. Please join us. Have a wonderful Shabbos. And again, your comments, thoughts, and questions, I greatly appreciate. All the best. Take care. Have a great Shabbos.